The following video contains sensitive topics which some people may find harmful or disturbing. Viewer discretion is advised. What is trauma? Trauma is defined as the severe and lasting emotional shock and pain caused by an extremely upsetting experience or event. This is the foundation of Silent Hill 2. Silent Hill is a place that shifts depending on the perspective of whom you're looking through, shaping itself to reflect the trauma of those who step into it. A big part of the excellence of the storytelling of this title is the way that trauma is portrayed as a key piece of the horror element in the story. Every character has a unique depiction of different responses to trauma and how they cope with it. In this video, we will take a deep dive in understanding all the ways that Silent Hill 2 depicts immediate and delayed reactions to trauma. After receiving a letter from his late wife, Mary, James Sunderland finds himself here in Silent Hill. As we get to see more of the outskirts of the town through James's eyes, we feel the emptiness of it, the strange feeling of being somewhere and nowhere at the same time. The term brain fog syndrome is characterized by confusion, forgetfulness, and a lack of focus and mental clarity. This is reflected in the town as an endless fog that shrouds the buildings and streets. Throughout the first instances interacting with others, we see the effect of the brain fog syndrome in the mind of James as he's truly confused and blinded by the possibility that his wife could be alive. We see glimpses of doubt in the way he expresses that he's looking for her, as if he didn't remember that he was the one who killed her. Here's some context. Prior to the events of Silent Hill 2, Mary and James vacationed in Silent Hill. Not too long after their vacation, Mary fell ill with an unspecified and incurable terminal disease and was bedridden. She was given a maximum of 3 years to live, which she was forced to spend in the hospital. Eventually, Mary was permitted to return home for a short while, turning James into her caretaker, and with time, this became a burden to him. Eventually, James, sick of not being able to fully live his life, made a decision. It was not the disease that killed Mary, but her husband James, who suffocated her in her bed with a pillow. This is the guilt of James, a guilt that traumatized him and forced his mind to repress any and all memories of this experience.
Park on the lake. We spent the whole day there. Just the two of us staring at the water.
A common response to trauma is a flashback, re-experiencing a previous traumatic experience as if it were actually happening in that moment. In some cases, the flashback can occur without the knowledge of the traumatic event, normally because the person repressed it in their minds. But when the flashback occurs, it brings all the weight of the trauma back. This is a powerful moment. We can see the way a flashback can cause happiness and at the same time induce guilt and be a part of the grieving process. You see, grief is a really complex state of mind. A normal human will experience grief in stages, triggering forms of emotional dysregulation and reach an endpoint where the grief's still there, but we learn to cope and live with it, normally called the stage of acceptance. In other cases, grief can be a weight so hard that the person alone cannot reach the later stages by themselves, especially if the grief is accompanied by other strong emotions like guilt, confusion, or depression. Here, we can see James reminiscing about a key moment in his life with Mary, a repressed memory triggered by this song he was hearing. This is the first true glimpse at reality. As James gets deeper and deeper into the town, we can see other forms of violent representations of the repressed feelings and desires of James. Sexualized distorted female-like humanoids in leather suits with high heels, four-legged mannequins with feminine movement and pace, nurses dressed with high cleavage and short-skirted attires. This is the way Silent Hill projects the sexual desires of James, aggressively attacking him, exploiting the guilt he has for feeling and giving into those desires. But most importantly, the only male presence the town shapes to James is a big, muscular creature with a pyramid-like structure surrounding his head that we can see throughout several parts of the town, abusing, torturing, and murdering mannequins and serving as a menacing and stalking figure to him. This is guilt. Guilt is an energizing emotion. It drives us to act. The most effective way to reduce guilt is to undo our behavior, make amends, atone, or apologize. This is the way James is being faced with atonement, as his guilt is the judge, juror, and executioner.
Mary? No. You're not.
Do I look like your girlfriend?
No, my late wife. I can't believe it. Your face, your voice, you could be...
My name is Maria. I don't look like a ghost, do I?
Further into the story, James will meet Maria, a pivotal character that serves as a more direct form of the lust and sexual repression of James. This is because Maria is an exact copy, a clone, if you will, of his wife Mary. The key difference is Maria's demeanor, the way she dresses and how she talks and addresses him.
So, James. 3 years. That's a long time. What will you tell her when you find her?
That... I love her.
Oh, then. Lucky her.
What's that supposed to mean?
Nothing. Like I said, 3 years is a long time.
Maria's purpose is to serve as an opposite part of the trauma that James has, the part that wanted Mary dead, and we see this reflected in critical interactions that he has with her. That is the role that Maria plays with James, the temptation a person will face when exposed to a heavy emotion or disorder. Like with grief, any heavy emotion can lead to extremes without the help of a professional, friends, or family. For example, heavy mental disorders like depression, anxiety, bipolarism, post-traumatic stress, and others. The ways that people cope with these disorders can vary, sometimes facing heavy choices that they see as the only way forward, like we get to experience with the other characters that were summoned to Silent Hill.
Oh, it's you.
Yeah. I'm James.
Angela.
Angela. Okay. Look, I'm not sure what you're planning, but there's always another way.
Really? What's the point? It's easier just to run. Maybe it's all we deserve.
We?
Me. You. We're all the same.
I'm not like you.
Are you afraid? Sorry.
It's okay. Did you find your mother?
No. Not yet.
Did she live here? In this building?
I don't know.
So all you know is that she lived in this town?
What did you say? How did you know that?
Well, I just figured because this is where you're looking for her. How else would I know?
Yeah. Sorry. We have to find my mama.
Should I go with you? This town really is dangerous. Now I know what you meant back there in the cemetery.
No, it's okay. Besides, I'd just slow you down.
What about that?
Will you hold it for me?
Sure, no problem.
If I kept it, I'm not sure what I might do. No! I'm sorry! I've been bad! Please don't!
A trigger is defined as a stimulus that sets off a memory of a traumatic experience. Imagine you were trapped briefly in a car after an accident. Then, several years later, you were unable to unlatch a lock after using a restroom stall. You might have begun to feel a surge of panic reminiscent of the accident, even though there were other avenues of escape from the stall. This is Angela Orozco, another soul that Silent Hill summoned to its threshold. She's here looking for her mother, father, and brother. After meeting in the cemetery, James is warned by her to not go further into the town as she knows something is wrong with it. Later into the story, we meet her here, in a room inside the Blue Creek apartment complex. In the scene we just saw, we can see that Angela suffers from suicidal tendencies and extreme depressive thoughts. But the most important part of the scene is at the very end, where we witness a trigger she's experiencing. Here, 2 points of interest are happening. First, the narrative shows us the amount of power this event has on Angela, making her erratic, emotionally unstable, and dangerous to herself and others. And we are shown another phenomena of Silent Hill: overlaps. Remember at the beginning of the video, where we mentioned that Silent Hill shifts depending on the perspective of whom you're looking through? Here, James's version of Silent Hill overlapped with Angela's for a brief moment, causing the confusion as James is unable to fully experience what's happening in the surroundings of Angela. But what is happening in Angela's version of Silent Hill? You see, Angela Orozco was the eldest daughter of Thomas Orozco. He was married to an undisclosed woman that, for the sake of the video, we will call Mrs. Orozco. They had 2 children, Angela and her older brother. We can see in Angela signs of an anxious and depressed person, like bitten fingernails, long-sleeved thick clothes, and insecure postures representing that she is uncomfortable with herself. All of this is a consequence of an environment of abuse, violence, and negligence. Angela grew up in a violent household, having to endure constant violence and abuse from her father and brother. These conducts range from violent treatment towards her to sexually abuse her repeatedly. These actions took a toll on her, developing a trauma that spread into her behavior and the way that she sees and feels about herself. Angela's first seen at Silent Hill looking for her mother, father, and brother, but she remarks her mother as being the main person she's looking for, constantly referring to her as Mama. The scene we saw at the beginning of the chapter is a few hours later, with her and James meeting in the apartment complex. Here is where Angela has the first trigger, because even though we, the players, cannot physically see what's happening, it's implied that she found her father first, constantly hunting her and physically threatening her, like when she was a child. Later, we find Angela again and get another glimpse of the world she lives in, constantly abused and threatened by her family.
Hey. Are you feeling better?
This place is different from what I remember. I guess things never really stay the same, do they?
I guess not.
I don't think she's here anymore, James.
Who?
My mama? She doesn't want to see me anymore.
Why would you think that? Anyway, I'm happy to see you.
Happy to see me?
Alive, I mean.
Oh. Yeah. I better get going.
You still don't want me to go with you? If we stick together, we might just make it out of here.
Out of where?
This town. Silent Hill.
No, it's fine.
Okay. Angela? Are you all right? Angela?
No. Please. You shouldn't be here.
Angela, it's okay.
No, don't touch me!
When James pushes further into the overlap, we can fully see the reality of her world.
Please. I'll be good, I promise. Tell him I'll be good, please.
Angela? Angela, it's me.
No, please. Daddy!
This is how Angela sees her father. The abstract daddy, as we know it, is the creature that Silent Hill created to represent Thomas Orozco, Angela's father, as a distorted man on top of a screaming mouth over a bed. The powerfulness of trauma is masterfully portrayed here, as this is how strong and powerful a traumatic event can be. This is the first moment we see redemption. As James strikes down the monster, Angela arrives erratic and starts to vent all of her feelings towards her father to him, finally putting an end to her abuser. But this is not enough to erase years of abuse embedded into her. Then, after all of this ends, Angela starts to scream at James, accusing him of wanting to do the same with her as her father and brother did.
Try what?
Like you don't know? I see what you're doing. It's always the same with you. You're only after one thing.
Angela, please.
You don't have to lie. Go ahead. Say it. Or you could just force me. Like he always did. You disgusting pig. I hate you. I hate you.
Angela, I don't know who you think I am, but I don't want to hurt you. I just want to get my Mary back.
James tells her that that's not the case and reminds her that he only wants his wife.
You're Mary. Your own little Mary. At least she was. For a while.
What?
Admit it. You didn't want her around anymore.
Angela says to him that he was tired of her,
No.
You probably found someone else.
No!
accusing him of wanting to replace her. This is how Silent Hill controls the narrative, taking control for a moment and guilting James for his sins. Suddenly, she is able to regain consciousness and return to the search for her mama. We are approaching the culmination of the endless search for redemption.
Hey, who's there?
It wasn't me. I didn't do it. I didn't do it, I swear.
Hey, are you okay?
I didn't do anything. It was like that when I got here.
He? Oh, you mean the man back there? In the kitchen?
I didn't do it. I swear I didn't kill him.
Yeah, it's all right. I'm not saying that you did. Look, my name is James. James Sunderland.
Eddie.
Eddie, okay. So, do you live here, Eddie?
No. I'm not even from this town. It's just...
Something brought you here.
Yeah. Yeah, you could say that. Well, they came at me. I didn't know what to do, so I ran. I came here. Figured it might be safe, but then I found the guy in the fridge.
Easy, deep breaths. Look, this place, it's not safe. These things, this whole town, there's something wrong with it. Might be best if you just get out of here.
Yeah, you're right. Hey, you want to come with? Maybe together we can find a way out of this town.
Oh, sorry, but I can't leave. Not yet. I need to find someone.
Oh.
And, Eddie, be careful.
Yeah, you too.
Eddie Dombrowski is the last soul summoned to Silent Hill, troubled after finding a dead body in one of the rooms on the Blue Creek apartment complex. We find Eddie vomiting on a toilet. In the way that Eddie talks, we can make that he's trying to convince James that he found the body and had nothing to do with it. James calmly reaffirms to him that everything's okay and tells Eddie that he has to go. After getting rejected to the offer of sticking together, we see on Eddie's demeanor that he got really upset for that. Eddie has always been a troubled individual, being bullied almost all of his life. He developed several disorders that affected his self-awareness and behavior. For example, Eddie developed an excessive eating disorder that is portrayed on occasions where James interacts with him, and it's implied that for Eddie, this is a coping mechanism for the times others made fun of him and constantly abused him. As time passes in Silent Hill, we see a more drifted version of Eddie. We feel how he has shifted from the scared and insecure person to a menacing and frightening version of himself. Here is where I want to mention the following term: post-traumatic stress disorder. This is something that all of the characters we've discussed in this video so far share. We can see the PTSD on Angela after it's revealed all of the physical and psychological abuse she had to endure and the consequences this had on her, making her suicidal and depressed, a danger to herself. On Eddie, it had an opposite effect. He developed targeted anger towards his abusers, and as time passed, he embraced that darkness and proceeded to carry vengeance with his own hands and began murdering the people that treated him poorly.
Ain't no big deal. Just put the gun to their head and pow.
Eddie?
Oh, hi, James.
What happened here? Who was that?
I don't know. It just came at me.
Okay. So he attacked you, and you shot him.
Yeah. Yeah, that's right. He made me do it.
Okay, calm down, Eddie. Any idea why he would do that?
I don't know. He came out of nowhere. Tried sneaking up on me in the dark. I heard footsteps, so I turned back and he was right there.
And you could tell that he wanted to hurt you.
Well, yeah, I mean, the way he looked at me, I just had to do it.
He looked at you? I thought you said he came at you.
Yeah, I mean, I could see it in his eyes.
His eyes.
He kept looking at me, making fun of me. And I told him not to, but he didn't listen.
Eddie, you can't just kill someone because of the way they looked at you.
You should see your face, James. I was just joking. The guy was dead when I got here. I got you, didn't I? Well, anyway, I better get going.
Now that we've discussed all of the stories that revolve around Silent Hill, it's time to see how they end. At this point, James has already become aware of his situation, and it's bound to find the truth. Passing through several tests imposed unconsciously by him, represented and shaped by the town, James is faced with atonement, having to confront his repressed desires and admitting to them. James is able to reach the lead that Mary is waiting for him in the hotel that they stayed in when they vacationed in Silent Hill before Mary's decease. Heading to this hotel, he enters a room with tombstones with his name and the name of the others that were summoned, as if they were already dead. After jumping down through his own grave, James is able to reach the overlap with Eddie's version of Silent Hill, a cold and chilling version where he resides, portraying the coldness he has within and how this is translating in his behavior, killing innocents and murdering in cold blood. As James finally confronts him, we hear Eddie confess to his crimes.
Eddie? Whoa, Eddie, it's me.
Oh. Hi, James.
Eddie, what are you doing?
Well, what's it look like I'm doing? You fat, disgusting piece of shit, you make me sick. You gonna cry, fat ass? You gonna run to your mama? Waste of skin, why don't you just kill yourself? Well, maybe he was right. Maybe I am nothing but a fat, disgusting piece of shit. But you know what? It doesn't matter if you're smart, dumb, ugly, pretty. It's all the same once you're dead. And a corpse can't laugh!
Eddie.
What's that? You want to talk down to me some more? Tell me to relax? You're just like the rest of them, James.
No, I don't want...
Shut up! You think I'm stupid. You think I don't see it. But you've been laughing at me all along. Ever since we first met. But you ain't laughing now, are you?
You need help, Eddie.
Don't get all holy on me, James. This town called you too. Yeah, you and me are the same. We're not like other people, don't you know that? Well, you're about to find out.
Eddie is meant to represent the extreme consequences of violence and trauma, and how unattended cases of child-to-child abuse can develop into creating a violent adult that resents and releases the resentment in violent ways, reaching as far as murdering someone in cold blood. Finally reaching the hotel, James learns that the tape he recorded with Mary on his vacation with her is in the room they stayed in. When he arrives to the room and he puts the tape on the player, he learns the sad truth he's been hiding from himself since the beginning.
Are you taping again? Come on. I don't know why, but I just love it here. It's so peaceful. You know what I heard? This whole area used to be a sacred place. I think I can see why. It's too bad we have to leave. Promise you'll take me again, James?
After seeing the reality, James is then found in a different version of the hotel, a destroyed, burned down version, and hears, again, the voice of Mary, telling him she's waiting for him. This is the beginning of his redemption. On his way to find Mary, James steps one last time in the overlap of Angela.
Mama? Mama! I was looking for you. You're the only one left. Maybe then I can finally rest. Mama. What's wrong? Wait. You're not my mama. It's you.
I'm sorry, Angela. I think you were right. What we're looking for, it's not here. Not anymore.
Thank you for helping me earlier. But I wish you hadn't. Even Mama said it. I deserve what happened.
No, Angela, that is not true.
Don't pity me. I'm not worth it. Or maybe you think you can save me? Will you love me? Care for me? Heal all my pain? That's what I thought. James. Give me back the knife.
No, I won't.
Saving it for yourself. Have it your way. It doesn't change anything.
It's hot as hell in here.
You see it too? For me, it's always like this.
In her final moments, Angela gave into her infernal inner torment showcased on her version of Silent Hill, always burning her surroundings, portraying the pain this burden is for her, unable to regain confidence in herself and the world, feeling secure and loved. This is what severe depression feels to someone who cannot see another path forward, just a burning stairway leading to the only way they know to ease the pain.
James!
Leave her alone. Leave us both the hell alone. I know what you are. I know why I needed you. But it's all over now. I don't need you anymore.
With his penance served, James proceeds to the final place, listening to the last conversation he had with Mary, and is ready to face his last test, fully denying the lust and sexual desires he had, and fully forsake Maria. James reached the last step on his redemption: self-forgiveness.
Mary? I have missed you so much.
I've missed you too. We can finally be together. Forever.
No.
James. Honey. What's wrong?
I'm sorry. I know you tried,
James, please.
but she's gone. I know that now.
Stop it.
And I can't just keep pretending.
Shut up! What do you want? Do you even know anymore? I'm yours. I'm here for you. So what if I'm not her? I can give you what she never could. I can be better than her. What else do you want me to be? What else can I be?
I am so sorry, Maria. I really am. But this has to stop. It's time to let it go.
No.
What?
I won't let you do this to me. I won't let you go. I can't!
I tried. I really did, but I can't go on without you. I can't forgive myself for what I've done.
I know. What's wrong, honey?
I miss you so much. I'm sorry. I am so sorry.
It's okay.
Will you wait for me?
James. I've always been waiting for you.
Grief is one of the strongest emotions a person will face in his life. Losing someone you love can be a weight so overwhelming that it stops the one on this process from being able to move forward. Acceptance and forgiveness are not easily achieved without help. For some, the trauma that is loss, violence, or abuse is so unbearable that the only path forward for them is to embrace the dark and not look back.